Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from GrandLineReview. I have just finished reading the new chapter. Wow. There's a lot going on. Sabo's doing a lot of stuff. Celestial Dragons are getting stuff happening to them. Green Bull's just taking on all the likes of Momo and Yamato and everyone. I mean, they are weakened after everything's going on, so yeah, his power is pretty damn interesting. And Shanks, man. The whole thing with Shanks. It's like, okay. It was so nostalgic to see, like, the crew first. It reminded me exactly of how, like, the opening for One Piece was. Reading, like, getting into it. And then him having the flashback to saving Luffy when he had his arm, like, bitten off and that. And then little bits that we didn't see where it's, like, them getting the devil fruit and that. It was weird because, like, I feel like that's where it started for us. And then now this is the start of the end. So I thought it was quite a nice little touch. But anyway, let's see what GrandLineReview has to say on it, shall we?
Shanks is going after the One Piece.
Yes, he is.
25 years, but it is finally
so
time.
sick.
Hello and welcome to the GrandLineReview, your source for everything One Piece. My name is
Ain't it
Liam,
mad
and
that it's 25 years?
I also cannot believe that we are close to 1 million members.
Oh, go ahead.
It is such a surreal number. So if you could spare some time
Sick.
to click
Do it. Subscribe to GrandLineReview.
Then we would greatly appreciate it. As would you, because it's fun to click things. But let's begin with
That's
some
true.
unexpectedly big news. The red hair pirates are pretty much just parked right outside one.
Yeah, they're just there.
Uber driver waiting to pick up their Luffy. But why are they here? Why aren't they elsewhere? And now that they're here, why aren't they staying? All of these questions and more exist. These panels gave
They do.
me chills though, like good chills that is. Because this is the closest that Shanks has been to Luffy since Marineford.
Yeah, man.
Very much like another ship's passing in the night scenario, because as we'll get into, Shanks apparently won't be meeting Luffy quite just yet.
Yeah.
With that said, it was actually really cool to see the rest of the red hair pirates who have known Luffy since he was an itty bitty.
Yeah. I was saying it was sick.
Acknowledging that he is now a great
Like
pirate.
Usopp's dad there, like, oh, I'm not ready to be you.
I mean, it's hard to be much greater than beating 2 emperors and being worth 3 billion berries. Not impossible. Others have done it, but hard. I suppose because the definition of great pirate is so vague, it's really more up to Luffy.
Well, that's the
to decide
future-looking
when that thing
Luffy,
actually
isn't it?
happens. Because sure, he's an emperor, and sure, his bounty peen is looking mighty big and rather girthy, if I may say so these days. But at the same time, if his goal is to surpass Shanks, then he still has yet to do that.
Yeah.
It feels like there's one more step up the mountain of vaguely defined greatness, and that step is to become the Pirate King.
Pirate King.
This scene thing, we
Which
actually
Boogie
got
will be.
introduced to some new members of the Red Hair Pirates. There were a bunch of rookies in the background, and I say rookies because they look like they were just scrubbing the decks of the Red Horse. But I think one of them was a mink, because he was like an anthropomorphic, gorilla-ish sort of thing. However, he also happened to have Honeybull's weird chody devil horns. It was an odd design, and I'm wondering if he's like half mink and half whatever Honeybull is, which I guess is half mink and half obese jail warden. Back to
Yes.
something more relevant, though, it was a really satisfying moment watching Shanks take in Luffy's new bounty poster. It was a really
That was really nice to see, actually. I did like
It's
that.
hard to describe, but I guess it's kind of like in this moment, Shanks is just breathing a sigh of relief. As if this was the moment Shanks was
Waiting for,
The
yeah.
awakening of this devil fruit that he clearly knew the importance of. And
Yeah.
he's looking at Luffy's bounty, satisfied that his job is done.
It's like, I'd made the right choice here. It's like, yes.
From here on out, everything is going to be okay. With that said, I do want to highlight one of these panels because to me, Shanks just looks a little bit off. It's the one where he's holding the newspaper and I can't show it because I'm trying desperately not to have this channel killed by Shueisha from copyright strikes. But something about Shanks in that panel feels off. Like maybe his head is a bit too flat and his facial features are maybe too close together. I'm not sure, but it made me do a bit of a double take. Either way, Shanks is giving me the vibes of a proud father observing his child making his way into adulthood. And meanwhile, Yasop, on the other hand, is quite rightfully terrified.
Yeah, I'm not ready to meet him yet.
Seeing the child that he abandoned for, well, no goodly stated reason, infant son and dying wife. I, Daddy Yasop, have to go now, for pirate reasons, by which I mean party non-stop with an unshaven
Let's go.
man, and also a monkey who will be there, so that'll be fun. Anyway, have a great life, and I'll see you again, maybe. But also, one of the best parts of 1054, which I should stress, in this case, all of the parts were equally the best part, but the Shanks flashback hit me pretty hard.
Yeah, what I was saying, it was very nostalgic. It was class.
Being drawn in Oda's more matured style,
The
gained
arms
from
got
a quarter of
fucked
a
up.
century of experience. It draws a pretty stark contrast, but at the same time, I also feel like Oda did make an effort to maintain that classic aesthetic. Like the establishing shot of Fuchsia Village, for example. It It felt like classic One Piece because Oda kept the background so simple and just dominated by sparse white. Something I appreciated far more than probably anyone should was seeing a young Who's Who in the flashback. And again, I had to linger on this for a bit because at first glance he didn't really look any different. However, he does have a younger vibe because he has shorter hair and no mask. Oh, and also he's not smoking, which actually does a lot to emphasize his youth. Because in One Piece, smoking is generally a trait given to older
people, yeah.
Middle-aged and up. Unless you're Sanji, but then again the entire reason why he started smoking was to become an adult faster. So he's an exception whose very existence proves the rule. But the thing that struck me most has to do with one of my favorite wanky words to use in Year 12 English exams, which is juxtaposition. Within this flashback, we have a character who we didn't meet until close to 1,000 chapters in, being somewhat responsible for the events that kicked off the series in Chapter 1. So that side-by-side mashing of old and new material together, that really does a lot for me. And
because he was all like, you got me in trouble for stealing the devil from
I do honestly have to wonder, though, how much of this section of the chapter was planned
gonna go into the movie.
For Film Red, because that will be releasing in Japan and France in 2 weeks, and this coincides very conveniently with the Shanks hype in the manga. But this was also quite a shocking scene, particularly the part where Shanks said that he was not going to meet Luffy. And this is where...
But then he's like, let's go for the One Piece. Like, what?
And let's be real here. What? There was a good excuse for not seeing Luffy during the Paramount War. I mean, he was unconscious, so it would have been difficult for him to see anything. But also because he had yet to become a great pirate. And in fact, this was probably the lowest moment of Luffy's or potentially anyone's pirating career. But this time around...
Yeah, Luffy wouldn't have wanted to meet him at that point.
I'm not going to meet with Luffy. And the crew were like, okay, but why? And then all Shanks has to say is, because a urinating rooster dude is making me look bad at a place that isn't here. It feels like an excuse. I mean, I don't think that Bartolomeo could do so much damage in the hour or two that it would take Shanks to go and see Luffy. So I guess the question becomes, does Shanks mean that he's not going to see Luffy right now? Or does he not intend to meet Luffy ever again? I mean, narratively, it's always presented a slightly awkward event because Luffy will try to return the hat, but due to the nature of what that hat represents, it can't really go backwards.
Yeah, it's meant to be something that's passed on, isn't it?
Rather than reverting to its redly-headed former master. The whole situation just seems potentially not as friendly as we may have predicted this moment to be. In fact, I do wonder if Bartolomeo may accidentally end up sending Shanks to war with Luffy, given that he is a non-consensual Luffy representative.
Yeah, do you think that's something that he needs to, like, it's like, he's unintentionally declared war on Shanks, and it's like,
Not in any particularly meaningful way, shape, or form, mind you. But what is meaningful are Shanks' intentions to now go after the One Piece.
Mate.
This last panel gave me a brand new feeling that I'm going to describe as bittersweet hype. Shanks essentially saying it's time to do the thing it is that the series was made for is ridiculously exciting because we are finally going to get to the One Piece. But it's also another flag that One Piece is in its final stages.
You've got 3 years of it now, haven't we?
It is now preparing to end. I'm interested in the idea of Shanks actually competing for the One Piece though, because why? I suppose one good reason would be to stack the odds in favor of a certain sun god and prevent a certain hippo god from becoming the next Pirate King and plunging this world into a dystopia where everyone has to eat cherry pie all day, every day. And especially on Blackbeard Day, a public holiday, where everyone celebrates with a customary cherry pie. But there's also some...
I don't mind cherry pie, I'm going to be honest, but every day would be a bit much.
Stands in the way of Luffy. And when it comes to writing Shanks, I think that Oda has always been very, very good at making us consistently question his motivation.
Yes.
To the point where 25 years later, it's still hard to tell whether he'll be an ally, an enemy...
Yeah, like at the Reverie, he was asking about, inquiring about a specific pirate, we don't know what that was about.
The aforementioned death. Meanwhile, slightly closer to Luffy and actually on the Wano, Admiral Greenbull is, I'm just gonna say it, he's being a bit of a prick. This guy has gone from hostile to full-blown absolute justice. I mean, he has so many terrible lines in this chapter. Terribly good, because they do a lot for his character. But he's also a terrible character. In a good way. Like the whole willing to kill thousands of people just to
I'll shred them all out the way.
But also not caring in any way, because if you're not part of the world government, well then you have no rights.
You're completely void. It's like, what?
Classified as some sort of person. And then
Celestial dragons are gods.
That a lower class of being is essential to maintain global balance. Basically, discrimination plus equals balance. So you can really tell that he follows in the footsteps of Sakazuki. And I imagine that Green Bull was actually handpicked by Sakazuki due to their shared philosophy. Something I really, really enjoyed was his standoff against the vassals. You know, the guys...
I couldn't think of the word. That was that. The vassals,
and they lost pretty abysmally. But they put up a decent fight fight, and they are no joke, not even to an admiral. And honestly, I still have a bit of trouble following Ryokugyu's logic here. He thinks that he can start a battle fight with the forces that just beat 2 Emperors of the Sea, and he is still so damn cocky about it. It makes me wonder if he'd be the same way if Sakazuki had ordered him to directly attack Big Mom and Kaido together. I will say that Green Bull, more so than the other admirals, seems to show some youthful ignorance, or maybe even general inexperience with the world, because in theory he's only been with the Marines for 2 years. And that does catch up with him during this chapter, as Yamato provided such a satisfying admiralific smackdown.
Class, he's like, whoa, your haki control's pretty decent.
That hurt my tree head. And I think everyone present here is even more willing to fight against Green Bull than they were against Kaido. And it's because, as mentioned in the chapter, Wano has just been freed from 20 years of tyrannical oppression.
Yeah, they're not going to let anyone come back and try and do it again.
Threatened to do it all over again. Just this time with, well, admittedly lovely flowers. And that actually led to another thing that I certainly did not expect, which was a brave Momonosuke joining the fight against Marine Admiral. To be fair, I don't think that anyone here actually knows, or I suppose cares, about what it means to be an admiral, but Momo impressed the hell out of me. I especially like
just jumps in, just bites him, and he's like, come on, let's go.
Because it's a direct callback to him summoning up the courage to fight Kaido, and Luffy's words, which I will paraphrase as, "You just om-nom-nommed an Emperor of the Sea, you don't have to be scared of any of the things." And Momo legitimately isn't scared. There was no hesitation when he went for that bite. This boy has grown the crap up. Although he did follow that up with a hilariously pathetic borrow breath, so you know that...
Yeah, he tried to burn him and it's like, oh no, never mind. Which would have been super effective against someone that's like...
That'd be a pretty handy natural counter to General Nature.
That's what I was... Yeah, there you go. Super effective.
Almost stopped Yamato from intervening. I have no idea what he's planning, or honestly even if he's planning, but Wano's new guardian deity is starting to take his job very seriously.
Yeah, man.
And that might be due to the knowledge that there won't always be someone around to help him in these kind of situations. Soon Yamato will be gone, as will Luffy, the worst generation, and all of the other people, and Wano is going to have to defend itself against these kind of
stand up for
threats.
yourself, boy.
So I think that this is Momo trying to step up and prove that he can protect Wano as its shogun. Also, how's this for a fun fact? Momonosuke has now bitten both an emperor and an admiral.
Well,
I don't think that any other character in One Piece has accomplished that. And something I haven't even touched on yet is the revelation of Ryokugyu's magical fruit powers, which is surprisingly a Logia, the Mori Mori no Mi, or forest fruit. And every page featuring his powers were beautifully drawn. So stunning that I had to linger on each and every one of these panels because my eyes demanded the satisfaction of taking it all in. I'm gonna put this out there though, as amazing as it is, Green Bull does look an awful lot like broccoli. It's a pretty crazy concept for a Logia here as well. The idea of becoming intangible nature. It almost suits the definition of a mythical Zoan a bit better, with Green Bull becoming this Gaia-esque creature. But I'm going to use the word again, juxtaposition. The power to create stunning but also kind of mundane beauty in the hands of a cold, uncaring for life murderer guy. So I guess we'll get to see nature at its most fearsome, which is kind of cool. I do hope this finally puts to rest any ideas that Green Bull is Zoro's father or even Shimotsuki Ushimaru, because unless this is the finest acting of 2022, and hey, it is One Piece, so anything can happen, but right now, all of that is looking mighty unlikely. And there is so much more. This week is so unbelievably packed. I mean, Sabo, Vivi, Cobra, Sakazuki, the new character dude, and the insanity of just everything else happening in the world. It's so huge that I can't even cover it in just one video. So next up is a deep dive to what's happening with Sabo, and I very much look forward to seeing you there.
That'd be cool. I look forward to seeing that. Yeah, Vivi's gone missing. Celestial Dragons have had like an attack on them. I randomly had a thought after that where I was like, that moment we had with Doflamingo ages ago in Impel Down, someone just turns up and he's laughing. It's like, was that Sabo getting info on how to actually approach attacking the Celestial Dragons? Because they've saved Kuma now as well, which was quite cool to see. Well, we'll see what he has to say in the next video, I guess. So, yeah, I absolutely loved the new chapter. Thought it was absolutely boss, and I can't wait to see how the story continues. And yeah, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, link in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I ask, helps support the channel. Greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much for that. Thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys, all you guys, next time.